going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we've got India versus South Africa in the third test match, the deciding test match. We've got the series tied at 1-1, and we're here in Cape Town. Now, as an Australian, it does bring up some bad memories of any sort of cricket played at Cape Town. It even feels painful to say that venue. But hey, forget about Australia. India versus South Africa. We're here, of course, with the third test. India won the toss and decide to bat first. Virat's back. We'll go through the changes real quick. Umesh Yadav came in for Siraj, and Virat came in for Vihari. I think Vihari's a bit unlucky, but then again, who do you drop to keep Vihari in? I mean, maybe you could have played Vihari instead of Rahane, but when the series is on the line, it's a historic, India are on the verge of winning a historic test match and series away from home. I would probably trust Rahane more than Vihari, but I can understand why some people would have rather went with Vihari, but, what can you do? So, hey, let's go straight into it. Rahul and, of course, Agarwal. Rahul has been quite good this series, gone for 12. Agarwal, he just seems to get these starts. He's had 20s in this series. He's had a 30. He's obviously had that, not a ton. He scored a 50, I think it was, in the first test match, and he just can't get more than a start. Unfortunately, as we've spoken about throughout this whole series, he needed to take his opportunities. Just hasn't at all. There's no Rohit Sharma, of course, who would be, instead opening of Agarwal. But when there's guys like Shaw, Gill, are waiting as that, to be that backup test opener. It's a big spot. Being a backup test opener of your country is still a big deal, especially in India, because there's always someone who's injured in the Indian team. Rohit's not there, or, you can be the opener for the T20 ODI team. When Sharma retires, you want to be that next in line guy. And unfortunately for Agarwal, this series, and he's a Punjab Kings player, so of course I want the best for him. I support him. He's a great cricketer, and he seems like a lovely guy. But unfortunately, if he doesn't score runs in the second innings, they might just start going with Gill and Shaw instead. They've got the age on their side, more upside. Who knows? But, you can't forget how well Agarwal played on home soil against the Kiwis. I'll just keep that there. Pujara, hasn't he come out of nowhere? He wants to get another IPL contract, I think. 43 of 77. He's just trying to score runs. And I like seeing this new side of Pujara. I think he's realised he can't stay out there for 400 balls anymore for 3 runs. He has to start making runs, and he's starting to do that. A 43 of 77 is better than a 4 off 110 balls. So I prefer this from Pujara. I like seeing him play strokes and try and actually hit boundaries and make runs. 7 fours. Solid. Of course, you'd rather go on and get a 50 and 100 and go bigger, but it's decent for a number 3. And now the King Kohli, the skipper, back into the side after missing the second test. 79 off 201 goddamn deliveries. Coming into this side, he wants to start 2022. You could just see it in his eye that he wanted that century. He wanted to break the drought, and he wanted to just get a ton. He probably deserved it. He played so well off 201 balls. He grinded and grinded and grinded. And this is what we needed to see from Kohli. There was a lot of, they tried to bait him 100, so many times. They threw a ball, this half tracker. They threw it around where the 5th or 6th off stump would be. He just left it. He just left it until it was full. And then he would drive it and played some of the most beautiful cover drives that he's ever played in his career. There was one that he hit. He just leant out on the front foot, put the bat down on this, full shit delivery, and just spanked it through the covers. This is one of the best innings we've seen Kohli play in a while. In a couple years, this is probably the best innings he's played. Obviously, he's played some nice, T20 innings. He's played some nice, other innings. But this is the best we've seen him in what feels like over a year. So, signs for things to come. And for anyone that was, for some reason, saying Kohli was done or washed up, you can take that bullshit out, because he is still one of the best batsmen in the world. And really, really worked hard for this 79. Would have been nice to see him go on and get a ton, but, 79 off 201 balls. They needed someone who had to come in and hold a partnership and just stay out there for a bit amount of time, especially because they were losing their top order wickets, and he was losing wickets around him, and he still just played to his game. He just kept knocking the ball around. I like that from Kohli. Rahane, 9. Panty Boy, 27. He just needs to stop playing some shitty shots. We've seen how he went out in the second innings where he tried to skip the crease and fucking spank it to Antarctica. You can't do that anymore. Obviously, it's a big part of his game, is that attacking factor. It's that ego factor where he can just do whatever he wants and smack the ball. It's so fun to watch, but when he goes out on these stupid shots, it just pisses me off. The shot he played to go out, he probably didn't think it was going to bounce as much as it did, but when a ball is around your shoulder, just leave it. It's a test match. You don't need to try and scoop the goddamn ball and send it straight over all the slip's heads. Instead, edges it straight to slip. Or was it to who was it to? Keegan Peterson. Yeah, so it went to a slip. You just don't need to play that shot, Rishabh. Obviously, it's instinct, and he just thought, all right, ball, hit, over the slips, easy. He'll probably do that 90 times out of 100 and get it right. But unfortunately, you don't get it right. You lose your wicket for 27 or 50. He was looking really, really good, and then played that silly, silly shot. I think Rahul Dravid would have a talk to Panty Boy and just say, just chill. Just chill. When there's something like that that's around your neck high, just leave it, for God's sake. Just leave it. Because his wicket is so important. Whenever Pant does well, India win. He just had to stay out there and build a partnership with Kohli. There would have been almost a match-winning partnership if Pant could have gone on and scored another 50 runs. Unfortunately, doesn't. Ashwin, gone for 2. Lord Shardul, gone for 12. Bumrah, duck. Yadav not out for 4. And Shami out for 7. We'll jump through the bowlers. Rabada, exceptional stuff. World class. 4 for 73 off 22. Just some really, 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 really... Did I say it again? Really good bowling. Dwayne Olivier. Now, okay. I've been saying in my recent videos, and I've always said this guy's name as... his last name as Oliver. It's actually pronounced Olivier. Didn't even know that until I heard a commentator say it last night, and I was like, what? I thought it just said Oliver, but there's an I. So, Dwayne Olivier. There you go. I'm going to still call you Oliver. 1 for 42 off 18. Jansen. This guy's a freak. 3 for 55 off 18. He is so good. Considering he's only made his debut 2 test matches ago, he looks like he could become one of the best bowlers in the world within the next couple of years. I know that a lot of Indian fans don't like him because of what happened between him and Bumrah. But that's all just love. That's just out of the spirit of the game. Bumrah was having it was all love out of the game. It's just the spirit of cricket. So if you don't like Jansen, grow up, because it's okay. He's an exceptional talent, exceptional bowler, and the way he angles that ball in reminds me so much of Mitchell Starc. It is scary how much comparison he looks like Mitchell Starc. On Australian and England conditions, he is going to dominate, like absolutely dominate. Ngidi, 1 for 33 off 14, and Keshav Maharaj. Hasn't been that much play for the spinners in this whole series so far. 1 for 14 off 5 for the man Keshav Maharaj. So all out for 223. I would have thought par score on that sort of innings was almost 300. The pitch is doing a good amount for the bowlers, but I thought a par score would have been close to 300 on that pitch. Still a bit of movement. There's a bit of green. There's a bit of bounce, but it still looks like a really good track to bat on. It doesn't mean you could just go out there and spank runs for fun, especially with some quality South African bowling, but there were a few dismissals that were just a bit silly from the Indians, kind of threw their wickets, especially with the tail order. Look, I know it's not the tail order's job to make all the runs, but it would have been nice if you could just get some contributions from Ashwin, Takua. You know, even if that 12 from Takua is 30, I mean, you go to 260 runs, it looks a lot better, or 235, whatever. It would have looked a bit better. That's something that I think Takua needs to kind of work on. He's so good with the ball. Probably just with the bat needs to find some form a little bit. But yeah, that's it for the Lord. No criticism from here from the Lord. You know we love him. South Africa sent into bat with only 8 overs to bat. Dean Elgar, the captain. That's a huge wicket. He's probably been their best batsman this series, along with Peterson and Bavuma. He hasn't been their best. Bavuma's been their best batsman, my bad. Gone for 3. Great ball from great ball? Yeah, I'd call it a great ball. From Bumrah. Markram not out for 8. He needs to go on and score big. He's been really poor this series. You guys know that I'm an Aiden Markram fan. He needs to do something this series. Your opening, you know, he's played some silly shots this series. He needs to go on and score some runs. And Keshav Maharaj came in as the night watchman, not out for 6 at 12. Look, he'll be an easy wicket to dismiss tomorrow morning, I would have thought. The small little man, just bowl him some bouncers, and he'll be off his way. He'll try and smack it. It'll go straight up. I'm telling you. Come back to this video. That's probably how he'll get out. But hey, that is going to cap it off, guys. Day 1 review for India versus South Africa. Look, tying series. I don't think India has ever won a test match at Cape Town. I might be just making that up, but I swore that I heard that one of the commentators say on the coverage last night here in Australia that India have never won a test match in Cape Town. Wait, hold on. It's in Cape Town, yeah? Newlands is Cape Town. Yeah, I thought so. I just had to make sure that I didn't go this whole video without, you know, with saying the wrong venue. So, okay, good. Hey, that is going to cap it off, guys. Hey, we've got a big test match on our hands.